Welcome to Secular Sessions, the show that explores the experiences of atheists in India. I'm your host, Raj, and in this show, I will be talking to fellow atheists from India about their personal journeys and experiences of living as a non believer in a country where religion plays a significant role in society. Secular Sessions is a bilingual show with a conversation taking place in both Hindi and English. By doing so, I aim to reach a wider audience and shed light on the experiences of atheists from all parts of the country. I hope that this show will provide a platform for atheists to share their stories and for viewers to gain a deeper understanding of what it means to be an atheist in India. Join us as we explore the world of atheism and secularism in India on Secular Sessions. Hello friends, welcome to another episode of Secular Sessions. Today I'm joined by Brian, and he's an ex-sikh and he's an entrepreneur. I know most of my audience wanted to listen to an ex-sikh talking, so I've got it for you. How are you, Brian?
Hi, I'm fine. Thank you so much for having me here.
It
It's a
is
real pleasure to be on the same video as you.
it's my honor to have you here because this whole YouTube thing only works if people listen to you, and I'm so grateful that you have listened to my content and other people who listen to my content, because I know you're spending time to listen to me, and then that is the thing that you can't get back. So I'm really,
Yeah.
really grateful. So tell me a bit about yourself, your family background. We just know that you're an ex-Sikh, and
Mm.
what?
So I come from a normal middle class family, born in a Sikh family. Obviously, everybody else in my family are religious.
Mhm.
They practice Sikhism, and they are quite cool about it. I mean, they're cool in their religion that they're normal kind of people, and they not many vices. Just a normal Indian family.
Yeah.
Nothing too special about it. Yeah,
Well, every family I'm sure is special, and I'm special for my family, even though I don't think like that. And so is my
yeah,
family special to me. So yeah, nobody is normal. Well, everybody's normal, I guess, but that is boring.
yeah. Just yeah. For that's special from, like I was saying, that from the point of view of obviously, like you said, that everybody for me everybody is special in my family. But yeah, when we talk about an average Indian who has this the value system that an on an ordinary Indian family they impart into the child. I have
Yeah.
also got that same upbringing, not to lie
Mm.
uh, willingly, not
Yeah.
to hurt somebody willingly. So all of these things were taught
Mm.
to me as well from my teachers, from my parents, and all that. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's good. So how did you came about atheism? Like, where did you hear that? Were you religious growing up?
Uh, so I was religious, but I guess I always had a little bit of this nagging doubt at the back of my mind,
Mhm.
uh, quite a bit.
Mhm.
So I remember, for example, when I was a child,
Mhm.
uh, they used to show Ramayana and Mahabharata on Doordarshan,
Yes, yes.
right? And a recurring thing that we always heard from people was that whenever जैसे बोलते हैं in Hindi कि अत्याचार ज्यादा बढ़ जाता है, तो then you see
Mm.
uh, God taking a birth in this life,
Yeah.
and or he comes down on earth and he helps in you know dispelling the evil.
Yeah.
So this I remember this incident because when the 93 bomb blast happened in Mumbai.
Yes.
So that was a pretty horrific event. I was a kid, but I would still understand what was happening around. So I
Yeah.
was like around 11 or 12 at that time.
Wow.
And at that time, I was really convinced that, okay, इससे बुरा क्या ही हो सकता है? Now, now I guess somebody is going to come. And I asked my grandfather that,
Yeah.
will somebody come? And he said, let's see, हो सकता है, नहीं हो सकता है. But, he never. I would have to give some credit to my grandfather. He was religious, but he was very rational person.
Yeah.
Like he never believed in any kind of superstition.
Hmm.
In fact, I remember asking him how we came about the life, all the standard questions that kids ask,
Hmm.
that how are we in this world?
Yeah.
So he gave me a very balanced answer that some people believe that we came from Adam and Eve. Some
Hmm.
people believe that there is the earth is on a wild boar, the
Hmm.
Hinduism side.
Yeah.
Some people believe that there's a Hercules who is holding up the earth.
Oh, yeah.
And then there are scientists who believe that we have evolved from apes.
Yeah.
So he gave me a very pretty balanced answer. So these kind of things gave me created a fertile ground for me to think about everything. That there are more than one aspects to anything.
That's
So
beautiful.
yeah,
That is really beautiful because your grandfather, even though he didn't, it was really great of him that he didn't just tell you one thing. He opened you
yeah,
to different things, and then you can make up your own mind. A lot of the time I hear in the upbringing, including mine, is this is how it is basically.
mhm,
There's no second options.
yes.
And
In,
then when you go
in
to, sorry, go ahead.
in fact, was very involved in the workings of the Gurdwara at that and in that city.
Yep.
Uh, so it was a pretty small city, and we had like two, three major gurdwaras. But he was the one who started a school in the Gurdwara.
Mhm.
So he he was by no means an atheist or something, but he was very rational. So
Yeah.
uh, huge thank you to him, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, generally we say that when you're an atheist, you're rational, but rationality is a lot more bigger concept than atheism.
Yes,
Whereas atheism is
yes,
just not believing in God. That does not make you rational by default. Uh,
yes. So you have to have a rationale behind anything that you do, and that rationale could be religious also. So,
yeah,
for
of course.
example, the good thing, first of all, I'll tell you the good things about Sikhism is that yeah, I really like the concept of community dining, the langar.
Mhm. Yeah.
I I think that's a beautiful concept.
Mm.
Uh,
Feeding the poor without, or feeding
exactly.
everyone without knowing their caste, religion, or whatever. Like
Yes,
the Darbar Sahib in Amritsar or Golden Temple is the biggest
exactly.
example. Like anyone can turn up.
Yeah, anybody can turn up. They would not ask you any questions.
Yes.
Uh, yes, and then I don't know. I can if I can say this or not,
Yeah.
but in my heart I feel that Guru Nanak Dev Ji never wanted to start a new religion because uh, I could be way wrong in this. Okay, this is just my
Mhm. Yeah.
thinking. I'm pulling it out of my head. Okay,
Yeah.
but with the whatever the teachings that I have read of Guru Nanak Dev Ji is that he was a very rational person. Okay, so I think that we all have heard the story of a time when he saw a pandit. He was offering water to the sun, and when he asked him
I
what he was doing,
Yeah, I haven't heard this story, and I'm assuming a lot of other people hasn't, but I'm really
okay,
interested in knowing that, please.
all right, all right. So this one time when Guru Nanak Dev Ji was maybe going somewhere, or he must be on an errand or something. So the point being, he came across a man
Mhm.
who was offering water to the sun,
Yeah,
and just like they're paying obeisance to the sun.
yeah.
And so he asks the man, what were you doing, what are you doing?
Mhm.
And the man replies that I'm trying to appease sun god
Mhm.
uh, by offering water.
Yeah.
And so that's what I'm doing. So what
Yes.
Guru Nanak Dev Ji does is he faces the exactly opposite direction, or maybe towards his fields,
Mhm.
and he starts pouring water like the way the Pandit was doing.
Yeah.
So now the Pandit asks him, "What are you doing?"
Yes. Yeah.
So he said that if your if your offerings could reach the sun,
Mm.
then my fields are relatively close by. So why can't I do that? And he was always like, he always said, no, na koi Musliman, na koi Hindu,
Mm,
uh, because that was obviously the two major religions in the region at that time.
mm,
So what I feel is that he never wanted to start a religion, but
yeah.
as things pan out, we as humans like to have somebody guiding us all the time.
Hmm.
So eventually, story becomes a legend and man becomes God. So that's what
That
happened
is,
with him.
yeah, that is very well said. And it's interesting how you say that. When you were telling me the story, I remembered saying that there is a lot of mythologies, is like, and I was thinking about this song from Sidhu Moosewala where he uses the sentence, "मैं दुनिया दे opposite चलदा."
Huh.
It just came to my head, and I was like, "Oh
Yes.
wow." That's so,
Yeah.
and that's how development sort of happens. Because I think, and I could be wrong on that, but Sikhism
Mm.
came out of Hinduism when Guru Nanak Dev Ji didn't like or didn't agree with some of the things in Hinduism. So he kind of went separate, and he did believe in a God or something that created the universe. Is that correct?
Yes. I think he believed in a God. Uh, a God. I mean, as compared to the others of the time,
Mhm.
he was really far ahead in his thinking, as in he was quite a secular person. Uh, but uh, having no concept or the concept of atheism at that time, I think was too far fetched. I mean, in ancient time, we have the concept of charvakas,
Yeah,
but I don't think there is no reference of charvaks in our Sikh philosophy. I've never come across that. So I
yeah.
don't know if he knew about them or not.
Mhm.
Uh, but according to me, I think in that time frame, atheism as a concept was very far fetched. Nobody could even fathom it.
Yeah.
So so
Yeah, so
yeah.
we kind of skipped in between when we were talking about your grandfather, and things panned into different way. But so your grandfather always made you think critically or have an open mind, basically.
Hmm,
And
hmm.
so what exactly did you see that makes you think about atheism, or yeah, the concept of atheism is feasible?
Okay, so with Sikhism,
Mhm.
uh, I came to reject or renounce Sikhism because of not. Uh, so I'll give you background. Okay, I'll come
Yeah,
back to this point. Okay,
sure.
so where I grew up was not in Punjab. Okay,
Okay.
we from some part of India,
Yeah,
uh, from another part of India,
yeah.
and because of that, we had a lot of influence in our family with other gods from Hinduism also.
Yes.
So, and for me, it was very normal. It's like
Mhm.
even now, my mother was like till the time she was alive and when she was living, and she was very religious, and she would respect all of everybody. So we have like some for some time even Jesus was there in our temple.
Mhm. Yes.
So I grew up that way. So for
Mm.
me, the concept of God was कि हाँ भाई there is a force.
Yeah.
I really like the श्लोक कोई बोले राम राम कोई खुदा है कोई सेवें तो सही है. So that वो वाला
Yeah.
concept होता है ना like
Yes,
there's
yes.
one God. एक
Mm.
ओंकार we say in Sikhism also.
Yeah.
I really like that. That okay,
Mm.
we are or there's one God and all of these religions are different pathways to find that person. Okay,
Yes.
and it was so I was secular in my thought ways in that
Mhm.
way. So we never and those time was also you would agree that those time was very different because we as friends we never asked each other's religion or caste. We
That's
would play and
yeah.
just it's only in the last few 10-15 years that this kind of environment has been created, which is another topic altogether.
Yeah.
So, but what happened was once I was in Gurdwara or something, and the preacher there, he was saying that okay, those who worship other gods other than Vaheguru
Mhm.
are not true Sikhs. They
Oh
are
wow.
not, yeah, they are not to be trusted. And so basically, he did not have good things to say about people who believe in other gods.
Yeah.
And this got me thinking that, okay, my parents and all the people that I have around me, my family,
Hmm.
they are pretty nice people. I don't see them killing or stealing or anything like that.
Sure.
Why is he saying that?
Mm.
Okay, so this again then started a line of thought in myself. And the other very important factor that made me question everything was, in our family there was this concept of "Oh, Mata aane wali," all right,
Yeah.
right, and one of our very very respected family members,
Yeah.
very very senior person, she used to have these episodes,
So this,
but
just to clarify, the Mata, if I'm hearing it correct, that was when people they start rotating their heads, and then they rotate it really fast, and it's amazing to see how they do it. Uh,
वैसा वाला नहीं था था
okay.
it was much milder. It was like, the voice would change, they would
Okay.
stiffen up, and sometimes they would either get aggressive, but all those kind of like you are headbanging at a metal concert, वैसे
Mm.
वाली headbanging नहीं होती थी.
uh,
But you could make out that something has changed in the personality,
Mata was
right?
stoned.
Yes. So I somehow never, you know, uh, could never be convinced. I don't have any reason for not being convinced. It
Mm.
was just like a feeling कि this is कुछ ज़्यादा हो रहा है,
Mm.
because such an important person like that,
Mm.
or a person in such an important condition like that, would not give answers to the question that India जीतेगा या पाकिस्तान match.
Yeah.
That person would not be bothered about that, right? But
Why would it bother that person? Like that's such a trivial thing.
yeah, so that was like trivial question to ask, I guess.
Mm.
और मेरी फैमिली में मेरे को लड़का होगा या लड़की होगा, so these are very trivial questions to ask of such an eminent personality,
Yeah.
अगर what they came claiming to be is true, was true.
Mm.
So I started researching on that, and then I found that it's a medical condition. Medical nahi,
Mm.
it's a psychological condition.
Yeah.
And I talked about this with one of my cousins.
Mm.
So that was an interesting chat with him.
Older or younger?
It's my same age.
Okay, cool.
So that was a pretty interesting chat. uh, and yeah, so he said that, okay, I do believe. Uh, if you don't want to believe, you are welcome.
Mm.
Uh, who cares? Let's have
Yeah.
some beer. So
I like your cousin.
so we were having a few drinks and all that, and so
Mm.
then these topics, they emerged. But
Yeah.
then that made me a little bit more, skeptic.
Yeah.
And after this, one thing led to another, and I'm talking around 2007 or 9. This is
Mm.
what I'm talking about, the time frame.
Yeah.
So at that time, there was no YouTube, or I think YouTube was there. I don't know.
I think it
But
just started in 2004 or five.
five,
Yeah.
but still, it was not the rage that we have now. And
No,
certainly,
yeah, of course.
at that time, there was no Richard Dawkins, or all of these people. We have
Yeah,
never heard about them. But
sure.
to my mind, I was like, I was I was making arguments, like, for example, uh, how can uh, how can Hanuman, a character,
Mm.
which incidentally was my favorite character from the story,
Yeah.
but it did not make sense that a monkey could talk at that time, and somehow they have reversed. Evolution has worked in a negative way, and now they have lost their ability to talk.
Mm. Yes.
This cannot happen.
Yeah.
So I was thinking in those terms, but still, nobody. I did not even bother about all of these things.
Mm.
Just carried on with life. But something really bothered me was when somebody always, uh, poked uh, poked at me or something like I don't like being told what to do. For example,
Okay.
uh, I I don't like I have not cut my hair.
Mm-hmm.
I still wear the turban. I don't have any other article of faith
Yeah.
uh, other than that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and that is because I did not want to overburden my parents and all that. Okay. They
Yeah,
know
you
that I'm
gotta
an
have,
atheist.
yeah, you gotta take care of your
Huh,
parents as well.
and so I've not done that.
Yeah.
So and it does not bother me much, utna bhi. But still, if somebody, for example, most of the time I wear a cap and go
Yeah.
out.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember one time in outside Bangla Sahib Gurdwara in Delhi.
Mm-hmm.
So this guy came up to me and he asked me that, why are you wearing a cap? You should not be wearing a cap.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
I was like really irritated. And that time I never, I mean, in those times these arguments never existed all that much. So that
Mm.
was the first time. But I got irritated and I told him that mera sir hai.
Mm-hmm.
I do whatever I want to do with my hair and my
Exactly.
head.
Yeah.
So and he started arguing, and then finally I said, I'm an atheist. मैं नहीं मानता आपके भगवान को.
Mm-hmm.
So he went away.
And he
That
was
was
sick as well?
yes, he was.
Okay.
So he was like a young person around 22, 23, but he was wearing that full nihang type
So he was younger than
pagdi.
you.
Yes, he was younger than me.
And can you imagine the arrogance that he had, that he feel the need to come to you and tell you off, knowing that
Yes,
I'm sure he could see that you're mature than him, and but he thinks that he's on a higher ground just because he's wearing that pagdi. Um, you
yes.
know, yeah.
And the irony is that according to Sikhism, the five chores, right? The five vices that you need to control uh,
Calm,
are
Krodh, Loma.
Kam, Krodh, Lobh, and Ahankar, and
Yeah.
there's another one. So, Krodh and Ahankar, I mean, these are the most angry people, right? And these are the most egoistic people
The
that I've
Nihangs.
ever seen. The Nihangs, yes. I
Yes.
mean, you have seen during lockdown.
Do you wanna,
There was
yeah,
an
I would love to listen to that, Brian, but do you wanna tell for the audience what Nihangs are and what's the difference, what differentiate them from being, normal Sikhs versus Nihangs?
okay. Nihangs were or are the descendants of uh, the the army that Guru Gobind Singh Ji he first had started when he formed the Khalsa Panth.
Hmm.
Okay, and
Yeah.
I'm sure. So I'll tell you, a disclaimer. Okay,
Hmm.
uh, I find reading text, religious text, be it of any kind, very very boring. I cannot sit through them. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm not blaming
So
you for
all of
that.
so so where I'm coming from might be there might be some differences or some nuances I
Yes.
might miss.
Hmm.
Okay, but you have to. But I'm sure that I'm pretty much correct. But
Yes.
you'll find some nut job who'll find some mistake, and he'll
The
start
f-
saying that okay, isko kuch
the
nahi aata.
fact that you're saying that I could be wrong tells me that you've actually researched on it than a person who thinks that he knows all but know nothing because he's never really read it through and he just believes his own hype. So I
Yeah,
think you will have a better understanding. And yes, of course, anyone can make mistake. For the record,
yeah.
I think the people who do Bani every day, I'm sure they'll be
Hmm.
making mistakes if somebody actually reads through these texts.
Okay, so Nihangs are people who are they claim to be the direct descendants of the first, the army of Guru Gobind Singh and whoever they fought at that time
The 10th guru
alongside him.
of sex,
Yes,
right? Yeah.
yes, yes. And so they train in the martial arts as proposed or as
Hmm.
developed by Guru Gobind Singh and
Hmm.
his kin and his army.
Yeah.
So it's really cool actually.
Yeah, Gatka. I
And any Gataka is it's called, and I believe that any kind of martial training is very very beneficial to you
Of course.
uh, be it karate or anything of that sort, because it helps you build discipline.
Yes,
But
definitely.
the problem here is that most of these Nihangs are not educated in the worldly sciences, or you know, they they are most of them. I'm
Mhm.
not saying, I'll not never say that all of them, but
Yeah.
most of them are mostly illiterate,
Hmm.
or if they are literate, they're only literate in the scriptures.
Yeah.
And what I feel is that that's not enough grounds for trusting them with the weapons that they carry.
Oh, okay.
Um, yeah, that's a huge responsibility, carrying weapons, and
Hmm.
they're deadly weapons.
Yes, of
So
course.
you need to have a lot of, like in the Spider-Man, the uncle says, with
Uncle
great
Ben.
Uncle Ben, huh?
Yes.
So with great power comes great responsibility.
Yes,
Even
definitely.
if you see army officers and army people, army personnel,
Yeah.
they undergo rigorous training, and only after a certain period of time they are allowed to carry those weapons with,
Mm.
and they have consequences if they use their weapons in a wrong way,
Yes, definitely.
right? But here there is no concept of them. How do you make them accountable for it? If they do something wrong, how are they going to be accountable for it? Like, for example, when that person cut the hands of a policeman in
Yes, I
Patiala
did
during the
see
lockdown.
that. That was during the farmer protest, right?
Farmer protest, nahi, this was during COVID, I think.
Okay.
This guy was out, and the policeman stopped him. He was on his bike, the Niham was on a bike or something, on a vehicle,
Yeah.
and the policeman tried to stop him,
Mm.
and something must have transpired between them, and he just took out his sword and cut the hands off.
Yeah.
And so I'm asking, so from my point of view, is what's the mistake of that particular policeman who was just simply doing his job?
Yeah. That is a good.
So
Even though the police, well, generally in India, police is rude. Uh,
yes, I
but
agree.
yeah, but there is a lot of factors to it because they're overworking and they're not get enough money, and that's why
I
the
would,
bribery and other stuff comes in. But
yeah,
still, there is no right for a person to hit another person, and this guy
exactly.
went off and chop off his hand.
And such a gruesome murder that we saw during the farmers' protest also.
Yes.
And the interesting thing was that, if you remember, a few months, 2 or 3 months prior to that, uh, Priyantha Kumara in Pakistan was murdered in a similar way
Okay.
by the mob. So Priyantha Kumara, for those who don't know, he was a Sri Lankan national. He
Mm.
was working in a factory in Pakistan, I guess in Multan, or one of those cities in Pakistan, and he was killed. Why?
Okay.
Because he on charges of blasphemy, and
Killed
it
by
was
the Muslim people or
by a mob, right?
mob of any.
Obviously Muslims.
Okay.
Yeah. So in Pakistan.
Yeah.
Now the thing is, I heard a lot of Sikhs saying that, okay, see how barbaric Pakistan is.
Yes.
Okay, and they were like criticizing Pakistan left, right, and center.
Mhm.
But then after a few months, the same thing happened here,
True.
and now, so this was a big thing. I mean, there nobody, and after some time, then if you remember, there was this period of 3 4 weeks where two or three things happened, similar things happened, right, one after the other.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
so this was really unfortunate.
there was another story that I saw in which there was a dude in Golden Temple who decided to pick up a sword
Hmm.
from within the Gurudwara and then he was beaten to death. I mean, he
Yes,
was stupid for sure. Like, why would you want to do that? But in saying that, whatever happened, did people had the right to kill that guy? That's just, not ideal.
I still believe that even though I'm an atheist, I still believe that certain good people are there.
Oh yeah, of
in
course there
Sikhism.
are. I'm sure some
We
of the
need we
people.
need them we
Sorry.
need them on our side basically.
Yes, I I personally I agree with anyone's right to practice whatever religion.
Hmm.
I don't have a
Yes.
problem with anyone practicing their religion. The problem occurs when they put their beliefs onto someone else, like that guy telling you, why are you wearing a cap? You know,
Hmm.
that is not cool. But if he's wearing a pagdi, good on him. You can do whatever. Um, and with the carrying of weapons, I do like Sikhs carry weapon, and that's for a religious reason
Hmm.
because
Hmm.
they have to follow 5 Ks, I think.
Yes, yes. So
Um,
it's part of their religious, tenets. You can
mhm.
call it. It's like the code of conduct. Like they have
Yes.
this Rehet Maryada, it's called.
Mm.
So they have to have observed those five kakkars.
Yeah.
Then you know, on paper, those are very very. Some of the principles are very very nice.
Mm.
Like one shakna, like you should share whatever you have earned.
Mhm.
Okay, and and other things like these, like so there
Yeah.
are really good concepts, but the thing is that everything is diluted when Sikhism, like any other religion, becomes a political tool.
Yeah.
And I think, uh, and in fact, this is politics. When Guru Gobind Singh Ji formed the Khalsa Panth,
Mhm.
that was an explicit declaration of ruling or making politics part
Mhm.
of the religion.
Yeah.
That they wanted certain kind of people to be our in group and certain kind of people to be the out group.
Yeah.
I think the fault lines would start over there itself. That we are different from you,
Mm.
and
That's not.
not just, and we are not just different, but
Yeah.
we are somehow morally superior than you also.
Yeah, that's true for all religions, though, like every
Yeah,
religion, because we're part of this group. That's why we are
yeah.
cool and you're not.
Hmm.
That's just the norm for the religion that I see. Just out of curiosity, what's your thoughts on Sikh people not wearing a helmet because they're wearing pug? So they don't
Yes,
wear a helmet when they drive, but when they go to a foreign country, they're always wearing helmets. Like they're not, either they're driving cars, but if they're driving
yeah.
bikes and stuff, they still wear a helmet.
So this is another reason why sometimes religion overpass the thinking, the rational mind.
Mhm.
For example, I was, in fact, while researching, I was going through, when I was preparing for this call,
Mhm.
I went through this article in which it was said that, like, there's this Gyani Harpreet Singh,
Mhm.
who is a Jathedar of the Akal Takht.
Yeah.
He said that no, we are not. So Indian Army was planning on getting helmets specially made, specially customized for Sikh soldiers. Now it is already mandatory for Sikh soldiers in England, I guess, England and Canada to wear helmets.
Yeah.
Okay. Now helmet is there for a reason,
For
right? It
protection.
obviously, if
Mm.
I had heard this from, I think, some very prominent Sikh journalist or someone, that lady said कि अगर सिख नहीं रहेगा तो सिख ही कहाँ जाएगी,
Uh, yeah, true.
right? If the Sikh is not alive,
Mhm.
how the hell is he supposed to practice Sikhi?
Of course. Yes.
Right. So and another counter argument to this point is that they don't have any. So there are Sikh fighter pilots also in India.
Mhm.
In fact, Air Chief Marshal B.S. Dhanoa,
Mhm.
right, who was he could be seen wearing the helmet, and
Yeah.
you cannot live without helmet inside a bloody fighter aircraft.
Yeah. Yeah.
You cannot do your duties. You have to breathe some oxygen, which is a part of that helmet.
Yeah.
Communicate
Mhm.
with your
Colleagues.
ground forces,
Yeah.
right? So it's a necessity. You cannot do away with that.
If you want to live,
I
you
am
have to
all
wear
for
it.
Yeah, and even for army people, not just Air Force. Nowadays, the helmets are so advanced that they have integrated communication system, and night goggle visions are also mounted on the helmet. So it's not just
Yes.
a factor of the safety of that particular person. It's
Mm.
a fact. It's a matter of the safety of the whole battalion, or the
Of
whole,
course.
the team that
Yeah.
is going for the operation.
Yeah.
So that does not make sense that if we cannot. And they have been very respectful, and they have designed it in such a way that it could accommodate the hair
Mm.
of the Sikh soldiers. So I
Yeah.
don't see any problem with that.
Mm. So yeah, that's exactly it, because it seems like a double standard. Like I'll be, if it is convenient to me, then I'll not do it, because they
Mm,
complained about like India and all that. Like some Sikhs I know are trying want to have Khalistan. There was someone
mm,
on Twitter that was asked, saying about Khalistan, that we want Khalistan and all that. And I
mm,
just asked
mm.
him a question, that imagine you have Khalistan that is gonna be between Pakistan and India. Now,
Yeah,
because you separated the nation, now India will be irked, right? And then Pakistan
yeah,
is already trying to get as much land from India, if possible. So,
yeah.
in that case, how are you going to survive? You've got the rivers, but frankly, there's a lot of things are imported to Punjab. There's, infrastructure will be devastated, the power lines and all that. It's not just the
Yeah.
farmer thing,
Hmm.
like Punjab does grow a lot of crops, but still,
Yeah.
there are many things that you import. So how are they going to live? And it's funny to me, like most of the people that I've seen online or I talk
Hmm.
to, who
Hmm.
wants Khalistan, are not living in India.
Yes.
And there's just one like, why do you care? Right? It's not like
Yeah.
the land you can pick up and then put it next to wherever. It's the land still gonna be there, like between India and Pakistan or any other border that is shared. So
Exactly.
तुम क्यों उंगली कर रहे हो?
Exactly. Yes. So, I mean, people who go out, mainly in Canada, right? That's the biggest breeding ground for these things. I mean, and this is consistent with Muslims also, I think, and to some extent, in fact, for any ethnicity that goes out, okay, when they go outside, they have this feeling that okay, we have left our culture behind,
Mhm.
so they tend to hold on to their culture more vehemently, like
Yeah,
they want to hold on too tightly to what they have left behind,
yeah,
and in the process they can become even more fanatic.
yeah.
uh, you will find that there are people who have gone outside, or who are living in Canada, who have never, I mean, years go by, and they have not interacted with even a single Westerner
Mhm.
in Canada,
Yeah,
right?
that is
So
true.
they don't know French. Being in Canada, I mean, French is a very important language. They don't know French. They don't know English. They've not interacted with people. They work for and live within the same community of Sikhs. So
Mhm.
it's like they've never left Punjab. They've just gone from a Punjab on a very more. Uh, uh, that's another Punjab on steroids, I guess. Like both fanatically and financially.
Yeah,
It's Punjab
financially
on
for
steroids.
sure.
Yes.
Mm.
And whereas in Punjab back home, I don't think, I mean, even with all of this trouble that happened last month or
Mhm.
the month before, I mean, things are relatively calm. There's nobody, taking out rallies all that much. There
Yeah,
were some protests, yes, that happened. But yeah, people here are more bothered about the safety of their own kind, and they are not, influenced too much. And another thing that you had said was very important, that Khalistan अगर यहाँ पे बनता है तो it will be a landlocked country.
yes.
And if you see the history of all landlocked countries, until and unless they are not surrounded by very helpful country or friendly countries,
Mhm.
like Luxembourg is surrounded
Yeah,
by friendly countries, Vatican
yeah,
City being small, but still Monaco is still surrounded by friendly countries.
yeah.
they have a very huge and they have a lot of money, so they it does not matter to them. And
Yeah.
plus Europe being Europe, everybody can go wherever they want. But
Yes.
on the other hand, other landlocked countries like Burundi,
Hmm.
smack in the middle of Africa,
Yeah.
I mean, they have nothing to do, and we'll be much like Burundi, even size wise.
Yeah.
Uh, if if all we have is agricultural product, whom are we going to sell it to?
Because if the country wants to finish up another country, they can just
Yeah,
not decide to not buy and import it from somewhere else for the time
yeah.
being. And when the other country get desperate, yeah, sell it for cheaper. So you'll actually be selling your stuff for cheaper and all of that stuff. So I don't know if these people who want Khalistan actually think about the people
They're not
living in Punjab.
they've not thought it through. And another case, another scenario. Let's just assume everything is fine and hunky dory, and we have a place called Khalistan and a new country, whatever they want to name it.
Mhm.
Now, again, the power structure is going to start all over again.
Mhm.
The Jats are going to rule the roost.
Yeah.
Then the other Mazhabi Sikhs, because we have so many fractions in our own Sikh society, they are going to again be the Dalits are going to be again be deprived of everything, their basic human rights. And how are you going to address that problem? Because when you go to any village in Punjab, you will see 3 to 4 different kind of gurdwaras in almost all of the villages,
Interesting.
right?
Yeah.
And another very interesting thing, like this tells you where the priorities lie. And
Yeah.
this is not just related or limited to Sikhism. I think this is related to every religion in India or even the world.
Yeah.
If you go to any small town or a small village, you will find mandirs and gurdwaras and churches. They are like lavishly built,
Yes.
right? Even a small village in Punjab will have a gurdwara that will be all marble flooring. There'll be marble flooring.
Yes.
There'll be ACs, multiple ACs inside the hall. Everything
Mm.
would be so, like they have spent a lot of money on that.
Posh
You see that,
and flash.
yes, exactly.
Mm.
But you see the schools in those same villages.
Yeah. True.
Why can't they? So they have pooled in the money to build a gurdwara, but they don't pool in the money to build a proper functioning school.
Mm.
How is that? Why is that difficult?
Because they want to teach them religion rather than the actual things in reality.
I say teach religion also, but then teach science also. I'm not bothered.
Yeah.
Okay, you want to teach them them Gurbani, teach them Gurbani. You want to
Mm.
teach them Shabad Kirtan, do that. That's wonderful. Okay,
Mm.
music is obviously that's the best thing in the world, music. But
Yeah, I
you
I
teach them
remember.
evolution, you teach them evolution, you teach them physics, you teach them geography, you teach them politics also, right?
Yeah.
That is not happening.
Just like your grandfather, they should open their eyes to everything, and then the
Yeah,
person itself can make up mind. Religion should not say that what science is saying is wrong, and science
yeah,
never say that religion is right or wrong. It just follow the evidence where it leads.
yeah. Mostly science just goes like it's like having its own chaat papdi, and
Yeah.
you know it's not bothered about anything.
Mm,
And आसपास के लोग ही हल्ला कर रहे होते हैं कि
mm.
ये वाली चटनी खा ले, ये वाली चटनी खा ले.
Yeah, no, that is true. Uh, I remember growing up, because when you say about music, I remember growing up, there was a song which I really liked, which was Tu Mera Pita, Tu Hai Mera Mata, Tu Mera Bandak, Tu Mera Prata. And I'm sorry if your ears are bleeding, but I don't care.
No, no, no.
So, this music is always pleasant to hear. And if you listen to the Banis on the some of the Sikh channels, they are really relaxing and soothing sounds. So obviously
Hmm,
you're gonna feel good, right? Because the
hmm,
singer is very good. The
yes,
music, the harmonium they're using, it has a nice
yes,
melody to it.
hmm.
It is of course
And
gonna soothe you. Uh,
And the thing is ki if they change the lyrics to something else also with
mm,
the same setup, the
mm.
same tune and everything, it is still going to same sound as soothing,
Yes, of course.
right? Because it's just it's a no, it's the ambience that is created that is more important.
Yes. So, so does your family knows that you're an atheist, or what do they say?
Yeah, my parents, yeah, they know. My brother also knows. Everybody, like they know that okay, इसमें कुछ गड़बड़ है.
Yeah,
So
कुछ तो गड़बड़ है दिया.
हाँ, so they don't. Initially, they used to feel bad कि हाँ भाई तू गुरुद्वारे क्यों नहीं जाता है, ये कर नहीं
Yeah.
करता है.
Mm,
Now, because I have never like, thankfully, either they have not forced me too much,
mm,
or I have taken it slowly. I have not come down with an iron fist कि हाँ भाई करूँगा ही नहीं. Like
mm.
for example, like when my mother passed away, right?
I'm
So,
sorry to hear that.
I, yeah, thank you. Like it happened like 2.5 years ago, and she was very devoted to it, right? And at the end of the time of her life, I would myself put on some shabad and for her to
Mm,
listen to, because I
yeah.
knew that अब क्या क्यों
What's the
like
point of fighting?
what's the
She's
point of
gonna like she's gonna like it, so I'm gonna do what she
हाँ.
likes.
And even after she passed away, बहुत सारे kriyas होते हैं, right?
हाँ
All of
जी.
the rituals that you need to uh, do.
हाँ जी.
I took part on everything, because for me,
Mm,
I am very clear about one thing, that for me, friendships, uh, relationships are more important to me than the concept of God. ठीक
yeah,
है कि नहीं
totally
है, I
agree,
don't
man.
care. I am not going to sacrifice my friendship and my relationships for the sake of uh, because it goes both ways. एक साइड होता है कि वो इतना ज्यादा उसमें घुस जाते हैं कि दे सप्रेस देयर ओन friendships and all that.
Mm,
And the other way can also happen, that you are so atheistic, or you so are down the line the other way, that you neglect your relationships. I don't want that to
yeah.
happen, because I felt really bad when one of my friends, like, okay, so these two friends, and one in particular, she was my very close friend, and I think one of the most intelligent people I've ever seen in my life.
Mm,
Okay, like genius level intelligence
yeah,
that
yeah.
person had.
Mm,
Okay, but he's a very devout religious person from
yeah.
the Sikh uh,
Mm,
religion only. So once we were talking, and he somehow, somewhere, the conversation veered to this point, that I asked him, अगर तुमको अपने रिलीजन के लिए, इफ यू वर टू, तुमको अगर ऐसा हुआ कि मेरे को मारना पड़े, विल यू
mm,
डू दैट? ही
yeah.
सेड यस आई विल.
Fudge.
हाँ, तो मैं बोला कि ओके, थैंक यू वेरी मच. सो दैट इज द, आई नेवर contacted him again. So I
Mm,
don't want to be so fanatic about my atheism also, that I
of
will
course.
sacrifice my friendships.
Yes,
So,
very well point, because अगर आप एथिज्म के पीछे किसी को नीचा दिखाने की कोशिश कर रहे हो,
hmm,
तो आप में और
hmm,
एक रिलीजियस बंदे में क्या फर्क है?
yes.
और वो
And I
रिलीजियस
think,
बंदा भी अगर किसी को नीचा दिखाने की कोशिश कर रहा है, तो आपका भगवान क्या आपको ये सिखा रहा है कि दूसरे को
yes,
नीचा समझने लग जाओ?
exactly. And I
हम्म,
think that, like we say, right, as an atheist, we say ना कि हम ही बोलते हैं कि like, uh, it does not matter if God is there or not.
या
It does not matter. So ये भी उसी का part है.
बिल्कुल.
Yeah.
I agree. If I can ask you a question, which I think a lot of viewers would like to know the answer of, and if you don't want to answer that question, it's completely
Mhm.
fine. Uh, how did you cope up with the passing of your mom, knowing that I'm assuming you were an atheist at that time?
Hmm. Um, so for me, death is something that I believe is the final full stop. Okay, there's
Mhm.
no heaven or hell,
Yeah.
but हम लोगों को दिल में ऐसा रहता है कि you love that person so much, that after that person has passed, you want एक feeling रहती है कि नहीं कुछ तो होना चाहिए, right?
Yeah.
It cannot be an end, right?
Yes.
But as an atheist, I have been like convinced of the fact that after that it is a total full stop.
Yes.
Like there was nothing, there was no you
Mm.
concept of you before you were born. So
Yeah.
abhi bhi wahi hai.
Mm.
But what I feel is that her memories are what help.
Mm.
And if somebody is watching this, I
Mm.
just want to tell them that अपने loved ones के like be it your father, mother, sister, brother or your friends, जितने photos ले सकते हो ले लो, you know, जितने
Nice.
photos ले सकते हो ले लो. Why? Because when a person dies, there's another second death that happens
Mm.
when when you run out of their photographs.
Yeah.
Then you cannot. That's that is the second time that it hits you that that person is gone.
Yeah.
Okay. So take as many photos, as many memories as you can, make as many memories as you can. So मेरा मानना ये है कि like if I remember my mother fondly,
Mm.
like she was very fond of music.
Yes.
Okay, so I would put on her favorite music,
Mm.
her favorite songs,
Yeah.
and and at that time I feel that okay, she's in heaven. But if I remember her from the last few days of when she was very ill and she was suffering a lot,
Mm.
if I remember those things, then I think she's in hell. So it's all in our head that we make of what we make of her.
Mm.
And हमारी responsibility है that we always think of that person in a
Mm.
positive manner. Think of the good times that you had with that person. और
Yeah.
जो कुछ उन्होंने अच्छा सिखाया आपको, you keep that in mind.
Yes. That's a very wonderful thought, man. Thank you so much for answering that question. I know it is a hard it's a hard pill to swallow. And yeah, I can't even imagine what you're feeling or what you're going through. But I'm sure,
Yeah,
yeah, but
yeah, it's a fact of life. You cannot do anything about it. हम सबका टाइम आएगा.
अपना टाइम आएगा.
अपना टाइम आएगा.
अकेला ही तो
तो
आया था तो घंटा लेके जाएगा.
एग्जैक्टली हमने भी जाना है. सो व्हाट आई फील इज दैट कर लो अभी मस्ती, जो करना है जो करना है कर लो. डू वट एवर यू वांट टू डू. डोंट आई थिंक कि इसमें मत पड़ो कि उन्होंने हमें कैसे जीना है कोई कोई दूसरा नहीं बताएगा. इफ यू बट again in the same way I'm also saying that if you feel in your wounds,
Mm.
right, that मेरे को I have to search for God
Yeah.
and this is my path.
Mm.
If you feel so convincingly in your bones that हाँ मेरे को यही करना है, do that. ठीक
Yeah.
है, because वही एक लाइफ है, तुमको भी यही एक मौका मिला है, so you
Yeah.
should do that.
Mm.
But don't go anybody else how to live their life forcibly.
Yeah.
ठीक है, फोर्स मत करो that अगर तुम मेरी बात नहीं मानोगे तो सर तुमसे जुदा.
Yeah, like ये बड़ी बेकार बात है रिलीजियस जो लोग हैं फैनेटिक्स हैं कि
Yeah.
सर तन से जुदा या आरएसएस के अगर आप देखो the way those people are lifting swords and Jai Shri Ram has become like a
Yeah.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.
Yes.
It's becoming terrorism, and words matter as well, I think. So when I say terrorism, mostly you think about Muslim people, right?
Which is
But
very unfortunate. Yeah.
yeah, and then if you think about like, and terrorism has more, it has a more impact. You would even if you just think that more people have passed away due to terrorism, but if that's a homicide, it has less of an impact. And generally, when white people do something, it's always called a homicide. And like, didn't they terrorize? Like you see in America, every day they or every other day there's school shootings and stuff, and they term it as homicide. And like, are they not terrorizing children? Are they not terrorizing the schools? Why is it that called homicide but not or genocide, not terrorism, right?
Yeah, that is true. Terrorism, anything that creates terror is
Yeah,
terrorism.
yeah, by definition, if I'm scaring someone, I'm terrorizing someone, right?
Um,
It's all in the anticipation. And then that is terrorism. The RSS, going to Muslim people and, harassing them, Muslim people going somewhere else and harassing others, and in minorities. Like I remember reading somewhere on Twitter. Now, I don't know how true it is because whenever I read something on Twitter or see it,
mhm,
unless it's on a video and looks, really real, I do like to research on it as well, whether this has actually happened or whether it is staged. There was
mhm,
a child who was a Muslim child, or they say,
mhm,
and he drank
mhm,
water from a temple and he was beaten up.
mhm.
A 7, 8 year old
Yeah.
child was beaten up for drinking water. Like, is your God
Even
so
even
dumb?
Dalits,
Sorry?
yeah, even Dalits are even Dalit
Yeah.
kids have been like there was this reported that one teacher in some part of UP,
Mhm.
he hit a child so hard, a Dalit boy, for having drunk the water from the common, you know, place where the other people would drink,
Yeah.
and he was beaten to death or something. That's really, really stupid
Yeah.
and evil.
Yes. No, that is true. And in saying that, with Sikhism, we mostly hear the good. What I understand about Sikhism is very basic. Even though I has a lot of
Mm,
Sikh friends, but I don't think I understand Sikhism as better as Hinduism. And I would say that I don't understand Hinduism as well, because
mm,
it's everybody has their own opinion and own take on it. So it becomes muddled
mm.
up really quickly. But with
Yeah.
Sikhism, there is gurdwaras and people have langars and all that, which is a good thing. And Khalsa Aid, I think, genuinely help people in some of
Uh,
the areas and stuff. But again, I'm just looking at the top level thing. So, what in Sikhism you think are the problems?
I think the problems with Sikhism is the same as with any other religion. Okay,
Mhm.
if you have a so, for example, the problem of divinity is there. Like
Yeah,
you have divine claims of supernatural things happening,
yeah,
like Guru Nanak Dev Ji stopping falling boulder, right? And Panja Sahib, wo
yeah.
ho gaya, right?
Mhm.
When Guru Nanak Dev Ji went to Mecca and supposedly a man he slept facing with his feet facing the Kaaba.
Yes, yes.
Okay, you must have heard that story.
Yeah,
Uh,
he turned. Some man said you can't put your feet in front of Mecca, and then
yes,
he turned around and the Mecca went into that side as well.
in that same direction, yeah.
Yeah,
So all of these claims of divinity, like, and then another is very famous. Is you must have seen this photo also. Like famous general was there, Baba Deep Singh. Okay, and he while fighting the Mughals in I guess Delhi or something,
mhm.
right? He was injured, and it is said that he carried his own head.
In
Uh,
his
and
hand.
you must have yes, and you must have seen this uh,
Yeah, there
uh,
was
this
some
photo somewhere.
pictures.
So
Uh,
what might have happened was, uh, uh, I, this is what I believe that he agreed he was a very fine soldier, very 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 brave soldier, and
mhm.
he also might have hurt himself during the war, which is
Yeah,
common, and he
mhm,
might have hurt his shoulder or a neck,
mhm.
and he must have pinched it and kept a hand on it, and he must have run back or
Carried on
come back to
fighting.
his correct or he must have come back to his to his barracks and all that.
Yeah, as if he was human. Like,
Yeah, but
mm,
then legend, like I said earlier, that stories become legend in no time. So
yeah,
that story became legend of Baba Deep Singh carrying his own head and coming back, from the
yeah.
war. So this is one problem. Another problem is the sectarian politics.
Mhm.
Uh, like we have so many sects in Sikhism now, which goes squarely against the teachings of Guru Nanak Dev Ji.
To be
Uh,
honest, when you say different sects, and I think you mentioned it earlier as well, this is actually a
mm,
news for me. Like, I just thought that Sikhism has the reason Sikhism was created for equality, that
mm,
the men will be called Singhs, and the woman will
Hmm.
be called Kaurs. So
Hmm.
that's why most of the Sikh names or Punjabi names have like
Hmm.
Singh in their stuff,
Hmm.
like
Hmm.
Rajvinder Singh or
Yeah.
Hardeep Singh and all that.
So
That's
that
what my thinking was. But when you're saying different sects, it's new to me.
in fact, with the Singhs and Kaurs, this concept was never given or coined before the last Guru Gobind Singh Ji. In fact, it
Okay,
was him who had given this thought.
I see.
He had decreed that all Singhs, all males of our family will be called Singhs, which
Mhm.
means lions, and
Yeah,
all females would be called Kaurs or princesses.
yeah.
So to eradicate that we are all one and all that, right?
Mhm.
But what has transpired, and as is human nature, that it has now turned into a shit show. We have Tarkhans, we have Jats, we have Mazhabi Sikhs,
Oh, I
all
see.
these different sects. Yeah, if you go to villages, you will find two, three different gurdwaras, each
Mhm.
belonging to a particular sect or a caste. You know,
Okay.
so that problem is there.
I don't think I've
Um,
ever paid attention to that. Maybe just because I didn't
yeah,
know.
yeah, that is a very important, you know, uh, bone of contention nowadays in Punjab.
Okay.
Another thing that I think is the concept of God itself.
Yeah.
Okay, which bring which makes me quite angry that
Mhm.
uh, so first of all the concept of God is in Sikhism is like a pantheistic God.
Yeah.
Like इनका ऐसा नहीं है कि you have a personal God like a Jesus or something.
Mhm.
तो इसलिए आपको बहुत ज्यादा सुनने को यह मिलता है कि you come from a Western point of view, you are criticizing our religion from a Western point of view,
Mhm.
all right, which which makes me very angry. ठीक है,
Okay.
but इनका ये है कि that's a it's a so it's the concept of God is in the moon mantra itself, एक ओंकार
Yeah.
सतनाम गुर प्रसाद, right,
Ka-
Ajuni Seven गुर प्रसाद. So
Kal Murat.
एक ओंकार means there's one God,
Mhm.
एक ओंकार, one creator.
Yeah.
Ajuni Seven बोलते हैं कि uh, obviously I'm not saying this in order, so कोई
Yes.
भी सुन रहा हो तो okay, give me a break, okay.
Yeah, take a
Like,
chill pill. It's just
हाँ,
explaining
so
the
Ajuni,
concept, not yeah.
हाँ, Ajuni Seven means कि जिसका कोई who does not take birth,
Uh,
ठीक है, who is beyond birth, and Akal Murat means somebody who is not bound by time.
mm,
uh, and so ये क्या है कि what I feel is it's such a ये if you remember your class, your mathematics class, right, हमारे को सेट थ्योरी सिखाते थे,
yeah,
right. उसमें क्या होता था, दिस इज अ यूनिवर्सल सेट एंड देन इनसाइड दैट यू हैव ऑल द डिफरेंट सेट्स,
yeah.
राइट. सो ये इन्होंने क्या किया है कि दे हैव टेकन द यूनिवर्स एज द गॉड इटसेल्फ,
Mhm.
यूनिवर्सल सेट को ही अपना बना लिया. अब तुम करते रहो, जहां हाथ पैर मारोगे कहाँ जाओगे. तो
Everything is observed within this
वो
universe,
भी
so
मेरा, राइट.
yeah.
सो यू से कि ये है, नहीं वो भी मेरा है,
Mm,
ठीक है. यू से कि अच्छाई बुराई वो भी मेरा है,
yeah.
morality वो भी मेरा है, because
Mm,
I'm my God is like my God is the universal set, and this I feel is such a dishonest position to take कि
mm.
चित भी मेरा पट भी मेरा.
Yeah, it's a good cop out though.
Yeah, so this is one point I wanted to say, that this is so you have left the other person uh, no scope of argument on कोई इसके सामने आप क्या ही लॉजिक लगा लोगे. देन
Mm,
जमीन द सामने वाला ये बोल रहा है कि सब कुछ ही मेरा है, सब कुछ ही
mm,
यही है, राइट. टाइम भी मेरा है, स्पेस भी मेरा है, राइट. मैं बर्थ नहीं लेता, तुम मेरे को देख नहीं सकते, लेकिन
mm,
है.
mm.
सो इट्स लाइक somebody has said that teapot वाला, फिर you can give that argument, right.
Yeah.
And all this while these are all claims, there's no there's no proof for anything, right.
So, so just out of curiosity, is Guru Nanak Dev considered a god, or is he a very high prophet who gave the teachings of God?
He is exactly what is called guru. He is a
Okay.
teacher.
I
So
see.
all of the gurus we respect them as teachers.
Okay, I
ठीक
see.
है?
Hmm.
Yeah. But then again, problem ये आ जाती है ना कि that the divinity aspect is not you don't shed that divinity wala concept also. Even
Yeah,
though they are considered teachers, they are attributed to have supernatural powers or something like that. Okay,
I see.
uh, and again, we don't do idol worship. Okay,
Yeah,
so maybe that you remember that preacher who was telling us that जो दूसरे धर्म gods को विश्वास करता है,
yeah, yeah,
those are not true
yeah,
true Sikhs, because it is for this fact that Sikhism there's no scope for idol worship.
yeah,
But then the next on the flip side, when Guru Gobind Singh Ji had said कि भाई गुरु मान्यो ग्रंथ, सब सिखन को हुक्म
yeah.
है गुरु मान्यो ग्रंथ,
Yes, I was
राइट?
thinking about it.
तो हाँ, and now we treat that Guru Granth Sahib or the book
Yeah.
as as if it is living.
Mhm.
एक बंदा पीछे में वो कर रहा होता है उनको, लाइक
Yeah.
हवा चलने के लिए जल,
Yeah.
राइट? वो कर रहा होता है उनको, शॉल उड़ाया जाता है, यू रैप इट, सुबह
Yeah.
उठाया जाता है, एट द
Mm.
एंड ऑफ द डे उनको वापस पालकी में ले जाके टू,
Mm.
ताकि वो सो जाएं, उनके पेजेस को दे कॉल्ड अंग. So you
Yeah.
have personified, you not just personified that book, you have divinified that, if that's a word. You have made that book divine.
Yeah,
So
you're thinking of it as a actual like God
हाँ,
or human, and the ideal idol is not just a
हाँ,
statue, it is
हाँ,
something that you think is real and talks to you and stuff. There was
yes,
someone that I was talking on Twitter about it as well. And when I was typing some stuff and I said, well, your book is says this, and he got so angry that I called Guru Granth Sahib a book. And I said,
hmm,
well, I call something a book and it is a book. And how can you
yeah.
distinguish it from the book? Like it got pages, it's got, covers and all that. Long
So
story short, why are you calling, like, I understand you want to call it Guru Granth Sahib Ji,
हाँ,
and that's fine. But in a Twitter, when I've got like really short space to type something, I'm just gonna call it a book.
hmm.
So yeah,
So I mean, it is bound on you to give all the respect, and you should give it because
yeah,
you believe in it. Those who
yes,
don't believe in it, I'm not disrespecting it by calling it a book. How is
yes,
it that disrespectful?
mm,
I'm not disrespecting it.
yeah,
And another disrespect वाली बात भी एक और आती है कि why are all religions given a free pass to feel, why do they feel that they have the right to feel offended?
mm,
हमारे को भी तो ऑफेंड होता है जब रोज सुबह 4 बजे यू यू प्ले लाउड म्यूजिक, और म्यूजिक नहीं होता, यू प्ले द प्रेयर्स लाउडली on the on the
yeah,
loudspeaker,
loudspeaker.
when people are sleeping.
Mm,
They might be a lot of them might be very ill, and
yeah,
they cannot handle the loud voices, the loud prayers.
yeah.
उनका क्या? Why aren't you thinking about them?
Why aren't you thinking about everyone who wants to just sleep?
हाँ.
And
So
that is a
yeah.
problem. And when you were saying about it, I just remembered thing. I'm recently going through a breakup, which
Mhm,
is which is all good. And then somebody was asking me why, you know, and I said, well, she doesn't want to be with me. That's the end of story.
mhm,
And then because my friend is religious, that was asking me about it, and
mhm,
they asked me that maybe you are not religious, that's why. And she was religious, that's why she left you, and she didn't like you that you're doing this YouTube
mhm,
stuff. Because very,
mhm,
very few friends of mine know about it. They don't
mhm,
follow me, so I can bitch about them.
mhm, mhm,
But anyways, so she was saying that, maybe you're doing this stuff and she doesn't like it and all that. And like, I
mhm,
didn't like her going to the temple as well. I didn't want her to go to the temple, but
mhm,
I let it slide, you know.
mhm,
And then she's like, how can you say that? And I'm like, why is it different? She's doing something which I don't like. and I'm doing
Mm.
something that she doesn't like. But if you want to be
Mm.
in a relationship, everybody has
That,
quirks. Everybody has things that, like, if I'm in a relationship with a girl or someone, there bound to be some things that I don't like about her. But
mm.
it doesn't matter as long as you have mutual respect about things, and as long as you're not, stopping others from doing the things that they like, then,
Yes,
that's how relationships work.
yes.
And
And
yeah.
so till the time you were, I mean, it's dependent on both the parties, right, Hannah?
Mhm.
He, if she is okay with you and you are okay with her, then it's fine. And if
Yeah.
it's not, rather than sulking and wasting your life,
Yeah.
it's better to go your separate ways and wish each other good luck.
Oh yeah, I mean,
And
I totally agree. I think that girl I was with is absolutely a gem of a person.
mm,
And it's just we had different paths, and she wanted something different, and I wanted something different, and we
which is,
couldn't come to terms, and that's it.
yeah, this is perfectly
It's,
fine,
yeah,
and
I'm
I'm
not
sure
gonna, yeah.
both of you will find someone that would make you happy. I wish
I
both of
am
you luck.
okay with not finding someone, because
Mhm.
the aim for me is, and again, मैं दुनिया the opposite chalta. The aim for me is to be happy.
Correct,
As
correct.
long as I'm happy, and as long as I don't cause trouble for others,
Yes.
and as long as I am able to change my positions, like if tomorrow I will know that there is a God, if, for example,
Mhm.
somebody proves that there is a God, right?
Mhm.
Then I don't care. I just have to close my YouTube channel. That's fine. So,
Mhm.
I'll believe the evidence where it leads me. I'm okay to change my mind. But when you become
So,
rigid or bigot, then that's a
mm,
problem. And bigotry on the atheist side as well, that
mm,
if you are sandbagging theists, then that's
mm,
not cool as well. I'm
mm,
sandbagging the thoughts, particular
mm,
thoughts of the theist, right? But I still think the person might be nice. But
mm.
in talking to me, because I'm talking about their theism, and this is something that people hold dear. So people have to understand that this is really dear to them, and it's
Okay.
hard to let go of things which are really dear to them, right?
Yes.
For me, it took like 6, 7 months to get over the fact that there are certain comforts in theism. Like if
Mm,
I'm scared or if something's gone wrong, even like considering my breakup and stuff, I would always
mhm.
think, oh, God will take care of it.
Yes.
Maybe God has found someone better for me. And you have
Mhm.
those things and comfort levels. So it's hard to let go of things like this,
Mm.
right? I want to live
Right.
after dying. And, those things, it's hard to let go of. I want to meet the people that have left me. So
Mm.
leaving those things is a very uncomfortable. And for
It's
some
very
people, they
uncomfortable.
can't,
Yes.
they can't cope up, right? So, and if I'm trying to attack that thing, of course they're going to be angry at me.
Mm.
That doesn't make them a bad person, right?
Yeah. We can handle anger, but we cannot handle, bigotry is what I feel.
Yeah, of
Uh,
course. If they're bigots like the pundits, and I genuinely think the parties, the pundits, and all that who can't be asked getting a job are
mm,
teaching people wrong things. If you're actually reading the Guru Granth Sahib 24/7 or reading it to the core
mm.
and reading it again and again, can't you find anything bad with it? You know?
Yes.
And if you have
And there are
realized, sorry.
and there are a few questionable, passages
Mm,
which we can talk about it and at some later point or some other time.
yeah.
But there are. See, but there's one question I want to ask you also.
Yes.
Like it comes from, and I want you to, because you were saying that if somebody has proved that God exists, and then follow the evidence, and I'll reach my
Yeah.
conclusions there,
Mhm.
which is fine. That's all. Even I feel so.
Yeah.
But will you? So suppose somebody has proved beyond doubt, beyond reasonable doubt, that some God exists.
Yep.
But will you still start believing or worshipping him?
So, if I know there is a God, then the point of believing doesn't exist, right? I
Mm,
don't believe in a God. I know it's there, right? So that's one thing.
mm,
With
mm,
worshiping, if they say it's a God of like Hinduism,
mm,
God of Sikhism, the gods that
mm,
have been told to me up until now, they
mm,
sound like really harmful.
mm.
I mean, considering gods have killed more people than the devils itself, right?
That's
In all of the religion. So worshipping that person, no, I can't because it sounds like a dick.
exactly. So this
Yeah.
is the another. This is what I wanted to get at is this
Mhm.
is another problem with Sikhism or with any other religion. Okay, that's not
Mhm.
related specifically to Sikhism, which is the problem of evil.
Yeah.
That why can't he stop the evil things from happening if he is so powerful?
Yeah.
So, and in Guru Granth Sahib, a lot of times it's mentioned that nothing happens, without his will. His
Yeah.
means God. So that means everything happening, good or bad, must be credited to that person.
Yeah.
If
And me
anything good has
sandbagging the
happened.
God every day, that is
Uh,
God's will.
so I'm a very big fan of like fan बोल के उनको थोड़ा सा छोटा हो जाता है, but Bhagat Singh is a very important figure
Yes.
for me.
Mm.
Like he was very like at the age of 23, who could imagine what were we doing when we were 23, right? Like
Yeah.
उसने उम्र में उन्होंने कितना कुछ कर दिया है. So
Yes.
and his reasoning was very logical that आपको क्या लगता है कि ये अंग्रेज हमारे सर पे आके जो बैठे हुए हैं,
Mm.
is it because is it because they have better quality weapons and they have more money than us and they
Yeah.
are more strategic, or God wants it to be? So that's
That's a
what I'm
very good
thinking.
point.
Yeah.
Yeah, but your talking to you is just like it's amazing because we can go on and on. But I think we should respect the time as well.
Yeah, yeah.
And we should talk another time as well. Before we go, do you want to say anything to my audience?
Yeah, so first of all, please subscribe to his channel, watch all of his videos, especially the ones on Amog Lila Prabhu. Those are really hilarious. Those 2-3 videos I think you've done of him. So please subscribe to his channel. And second is, whatever you're doing, whether you are religious or not, just have fun, be
Yeah,
chilled in life, have a beer or two, and
yeah,
मजे करो यार लाइफ में. That's
yeah.
it.
And then I would say, listen to Brian. And as I always encourage people to let us think, and you can call me atheist.